And in terms of your sodium,
whoa! Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Today's video is for Katie from LUSTRELUX, a makeup guru here on YouTube with 1.5 million subscribers, and she also has 1.5 million followers on Instagram.
So she's got a very big audience, and part of her audience is also following our channel, and we've had a heap of requests from people to make a video for Katie about her recent diet changes, and she put out a Snapchat story recently, and people have asked, can we help her out? Can we offer some tips and what our thoughts are?
So let's hear what she has to say.
Because I'm trying to eat like a more plant-based diet, like heavier vegetable. I mean, I used to eat zero vegetables, you guys, zero. I would just eat goldfish, pasta. And since I've started this journey of like heavily working out and adjusting or modifying my lifestyle, I haven't completely changed it, but it's very different from what it used to be. I was originally eating like a lot of lean meats, like chicken and ground turkey and all that, and it's just really started grossing me out. Like I just can't eat it anymore.
It's wonderful to hear that you're transitioning more to a plant-based diet, Katie. That is excellent. And also to hear that those lean meats are grossing you out, because yeah, they are gross.
Yeah, and we totally understand what it's like to come from a very unhealthy way of eating and move towards a healthier plant-based diet. We used to eat hot dogs. Ew, you know what's in hot dogs? Pigs' anuses and snouts and all the offcuts and the gross stuff. So we've been there, we've eaten all the crappy stuff, and it feels amazing to move towards a cleaner diet. So we're really glad, as Lucas said, to hear that you're on this path.
Trainer told me about this whole plan because I told him, I was like, dude, I'm over like this ground turkey and chicken shit. Like I can't do it anymore. So he was telling me this, it's called like a Mediterranean diet. I am kind of trying this out, and so far I'm really liking it. It tastes really good. I kind of realized I don't even like lean meats. Like they don't taste good at all. The reason I'm doing all this is because it makes me feel better.
Okay, so let's talk about the Mediterranean diet, because we get a lot of people asking us what our opinion is. So it is definitely an improvement over the standard Western diet, because the emphasis is far more on plant foods and it doesn't include so many processed foods.
So that's a definite thumbs up, but the problem is, although it reduces animal products, it doesn't eliminate them completely. So you can see here in the pyramid, the bottom tier is full of plant foods. Yes, that's great, but we still have seafood, and then we have poultry and eggs and dairy, and then we have a little bit of red meat at the top. The main thing to remember is any amount of animal foods in your diet at all is still unhealthy.
And that's because 14 of the 15 leading causes of our death have been scientifically linked to eating animal products. We really encourage you to watch this highly informative video, Katie. It will blow your mind.
Basically, we're not supposed to eat animal products, be it their flesh or their secretions. Our bodies are not designed to be able to process those things, so it causes harm, it causes dis-ease in the body.
So we might feel better on a Mediterranean diet, but that doesn't mean that we're going to feel optimal. For example, the Mediterranean diet still includes eggs, and even if you were to reduce your egg consumption to just 1 a day, you would still have the same risk of developing heart disease as if you were smoking 5 cigarettes a day, which of course you would never want to do if you're on a health journey.
And it's also interesting to note here that the Mediterranean diet seems to put fish and seafood as something healthier than chicken and red meat. But that's really inaccurate, because seafood is one of the most toxic things that we can put in our bodies. I mean,
think about it. Our oceans are like public toilets. They are the dumping ground for, industrial chemicals and industrial waste, untreated sewerage, both human and from animal agriculture, nuclear waste.
Everything gets dumped in the
mercury,
ocean.
lead,
And seafood contains saturated fat and cholesterol, which are linked to our leading cause of death, heart disease. So this is very far from a health food.
And even if consumed in small amounts, dairy is still toxic, as it contains IGF-1 and casein, which have been known to promote cancer, as well as over 60 naturally occurring hormones and pus cells. It's just not meant to be in the human body. It is completely toxic and linked to a host of diseases.
So we can see that even though the Mediterranean diet is healthier than the standard Western diet, there are still many flaws. and we've created an edited version of the Mediterranean diet pyramid. So we're going to cross out the top few tiers here with all the animal foods. Let's get them out of the diet. Let's stick with the bottom tier that's based around whole plant foods. Now there is one thing that we're going to also cross out in the bottom tier, and that's olive oil. This is a giant misconception that olive oil is healthy.
The studies that show that olive oil is healthy have actually been funded by those that stand to benefit from the sale of olive oil, the olive oil manufacturers and the olive oil exporters like the Spanish government.
No oil, fish, fowl, meat, or dairy. No oil. No oil. Let's just take a moment here because some people still are not clear about the fact, no oil. All right, why? Because the data. Dr. Vogel has gone on and shown us indeed that olive oil activates clotting factor 7 just as much as butter.
The truth is, all oils, doesn't matter if it's organic, cold pressed, virgin, olive, whatever, all oils are 100% calories from fat. So they are not a whole food. And when we extract one macronutrient like fat, that is something that the body can't really process very well because all whole plant foods are made up of carbohydrates, protein, and fat, all bundled together.
If you're looking to stay lean, it doesn't make sense to eat something that's 100% fat calories because 1 gram of fat contains 9 calories versus 1 gram of carbohydrates or protein only contain 4 calories. So there are more than twice as many calories in a gram of fat as there are in carbs or protein. And this also is not a healthy fat. All oils damage the endothelium, which is the innermost lining of our arteries, and this injury is the gateway to vascular disease, i.e. heart disease, our leading cause of death.
So it's pretty simple, Katie. Our recommendation for you and anybody watching is a 100% plant-based diet that's based around whole plant foods. So of course breads and pastas are fine, but you want to take the oil out, and that's going to give you the healthiest version of a diet that you could possibly eat. You will thrive.
I definitely don't count calories. I'm like not really down for that. I actually need to eat more often though. That's why I just started tracking to see how balanced I am. So today my veggies were just through the roof. And I still need more protein and I need some adjusting.
All right, so here's the interesting thing. Although you don't like to count calories, and let's face it, who does? The important thing to remember when you come into a plant-based diet, this is like the only diet in the world where you actually need to count calories initially to make sure you're eating enough. I know, it sounds incredible, but it's true.
That's because the number one reason that people fall off a plant-based diet is because they simply don't eat enough calories. When you sit down to animal foods, because they're so calorically dense, the volume of food is not that great in order for you to meet your caloric needs. However, most people bring that same mindset of keeping the plate size the same to a plant-based diet, but plant foods are more calorically dilute than animal foods. So you have to actually eat a bigger volume of plant foods to get the same number of calories you were getting before.
And if you don't get the same number of calories, you're not going to feel satiated and you're not going to meet your energy requirements and your nutritional requirements, and people start to feel deficient and lacking energy and they feel terrible and they're like, I need to add a bit of fish, I need to add a bit of chicken, and then I feel better.
And that's the other thing. A lot of people come to a plant-based diet and think, right, I've got to eat a lot of veggies. Yes, you're going to eat more vegetables than you would eating a standard Western diet, but veggies should not be the staple nor the main bulk of the calories because they're very low in calories. So what you want to have is veggies as a side, and you want to have high carbohydrate whole plant foods as your staple foods. So we're talking about white potatoes, sweet potatoes, rice, quinoa, corn, you know, those type of whole grains and starchy root vegetables.
So we can see, Katie, your calories for the day are super low. They're only 1690. That is not a lot, especially if you're working out. You said you're working with a trainer, you've upped your exercise. Well, I'm almost 36 years old. I'm only 5 foot tall. I weigh about 47.5 kilo, which is 105
pounds.
And I eat around 2,500 calories every single day. Sometimes a little more, sometimes a little less, but it's around that ballpark. So you can see that you need to eat a hell of a lot more volume of food, more calories to feel satiated and to thrive on this diet.
So we can see that your portion sizes are quite small, and there's one dish there, the cauliflower rice. This is something that was promoted by BuzzFeed recently in their ridiculous video on how to replace carbs. You just want to eat the rice there because that is what has the calories in it that are going to give you the energy that you need to live your life to its fullest and do your workouts to your best. Not the cauliflower. The cauliflower has very, very few calories.
So we would actually, I mean, that looks delicious. We would take that meal and we just add a whole heap of rice in it. So it's not like you have to start from scratch and change everything. Just add more grains to the meals you're already making.
Yes, and everything at the moment seems to be doused in oil. And again, so you're getting a lot of your calories from refined fats. You want to get your calories from clean, burning, high carbohydrate, whole plant foods.
You mentioned that you were low in protein. You need to start working on boosting that. The thing is, if you eat more calories, you will naturally get more protein. And if you want, you can add more high protein foods like beans and lentils, tofu, tempeh, those kind of foods. But in all honesty, if you just increase your calories, you will naturally increase the amount of protein you're getting.
So you showed that you're using a plant-based protein powder. Thumbs up that it's plant-based, fantastic, instead of whey, which is absolutely toxic and cruel. But you don't actually need it. Again, isolated macronutrients, whether they come from fat, protein or carbs, are not ideal. The body prefers whole plant foods where the carbs, protein and fats are packaged together as a bundled deal.
And in terms of your sodium,
whoa, almost 4,000 milligrams. I think the American average is around 2,700 milligrams. So that is super high, and sodium retains water. So if you don't want to be puffy and be carrying around extra water weight, really keep an eye on that sodium. You want to be aiming for around 1,000 milligrams.
Yeah, if you want to lean down, get rid of the sodium. And you don't have to do it all in one hit because it takes time for the taste buds to adjust. So what we recommend you do is slowly start to reduce the amount of sodium that you're adding, and you can replace that flavor with lemon juice. We find squeezing a lemon really takes it up a notch, and also adding herbs and spices, different flavors. So it takes around 21 days for the taste buds to adapt. So once they got used to not having so much salt, you'll find it a lot easier to stick to this type of eating. The great thing is eating a 100% plant-based diet is not only the healthiest thing for our body temple, but it's also
the kindest, most compassionate and ethical way of eating, because no animal needs to die in order for us to live. And it's also the most environmentally friendly way of eating, because animal agriculture is the leading cause of environmental destruction on the planet today.
And finally, Katie, if you are interested in switching to a vegan lifestyle, as a makeup guru, it's really important that you also change your makeup to cruelty-free, because no innocent animals need to suffer. There are plenty of cruelty-free makeup options. Carly Bible recently went vegan and she's transitioned all of her makeup, so you can check out her channel and recommendations if you need help.
So that's it, Katie. May the vegan force be with you on your health journey. Make sure to hit us up if you need any help whatsoever. And guys, help us make sure that Katie sees this video by sharing it with her on her various social media links linked below.
Thanks so much for watching, guys. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe.
And remember, until next time, that going vegan is not the most we can do.
It's the least we can do. See you next video.
Bye, guys. 5 clever ways to replace carbs.
Wow.
We could call it 5 clever ways to stay fat.
5 clever ways to stay undercarbed.
5 clever ways to keep dying of heart disease and diabetes. 5 clever ways to stay on the diet merry-go-round forever.
Well, how about 5 clever ways to keep people in a bad relationship with food and potentially cause eating disorders?